Okay, so now that we know why CO2 is so important, how is it maintained? Let's show you. Okay, so remember, we're trying to maintain our CO2 between 35 and 45 within the blood itself. That's the goal. And so here's what's going to be kind of interesting thing for you is that our lungs, we know, is going to breathe volume on a regular basis. And they have what we call a minute volume. Okay, a minute volume. And this minute volume, as a general rule of thumb, if you increase the minute volume, you will breathe off more CO2 and more CO2 would leave the body. And also on the other side of things, if we decrease our minute volume, then we're going to hold on to more CO2 and our CO2 is going to increase inside the blood. And so that is basically the idea of the lungs being the main conduit of controlling CO2, but it isn't the one that makes the decisions. What makes the decisions is the medulla itself. The medulla in the brain is constantly checking our CO2 levels. And so if our CO2 levels go above 45, then our medulla is going to go to our lungs and say, hey, I need you to breathe faster, increase our minute volume to bring that CO2 number lower. Breathe off more CO2 to bring it back below 45. And the same thing would go if it was below 35, the medulla again would go to the lungs and say, hey, I need you to decrease your minute volume in order to breathe less CO2 out of the lungs. And so we can again bring our CO2 numbers and accumulate more CO2 inside the blood. So the medulla is playing a big role in controlling CO2 in order to maintain CO2 numbers between 35 and 45. And it does that by telling the lungs to increase our respiratory rate and decrease our respiratory rate to breathe off or hold on to more CO2. We love that you love our videos, so much so that we've actually created some shock illustrated notes for you, and you can download these for free in a link on our bio.